Hello, welcome to the land of Yak Yak. My name is Laurel. So we're midway through my oldest son's 8th grade year, and my brain's already working on high school, and this will be my first time going through that process. So I'm gonna do some planning today. I just want to make sure that I can see a path through. It doesn't mean it's like absolutely everything is perfectly defined or anything. But I thought I would just share that process with you. I think it helps me when I'm nervous about things to see them planned out on paper. I do it a lot with like my budgeting and just like house plans, and I like to work it out and just like work out that path, and just like it's like a mental exercise. But I thought I would take you through the process I'm going into high school with. Okay, so the first thing I did was I went to my Homeschool Association and website, and they had a high school handbook, and your association probably has something similar. And it told me my state requirements for graduation. I did read through all of it. So what I learned is that I believe it's 24 credits to graduate here, but they're very, my state of South Carolina was pretty specific about what courses had to be taken actually to graduate. And I was kind of surprised by some of their choices. You know, you got to be in compliance. So I made up these little sheets here, and I'll link these for you. You can have these. One to plan, a high school track, 9th through 12th grade. And mine are filled in with what was required for my state, but I'll leave it, it'll be blank for you because I don't know what your state requirements will be. But that little star, as I was going to just make a note to myself how many credits of that subject my state required. So for math, we had 4. English, it was 4. Science credits, I had to have 3, and that's actually with labs. And English had to be, it was all literature and composition, just so you know. But your English might be something else, your language arts or something. Social studies, we had to have 3 credits. PE 1, computer science 1, personal finance required a half credit. Foreign language or career tech 1. And I believe they required 7 electives. So that was a total of 24 units to graduate. So this was interesting for my state. They just made a note that most public schools require a unit, they call it a Carnegie unit, as 150 hours per subject for a credit. A unit is a credit, right? They made a note that because so much more material can be covered in a one-on-one learning situation versus a full classroom, that my homeschool association will accept a minimum of 120 hours in order to earn a unit of credit for the completion of a course. So I'm just going to make a note to myself that 1 unit equals 120 hours. There was also in here, I had to make a note to myself, they also required 60 hours or a half credit of health. But that could be either separate, like an elective, or it could be contained within another subject, like maybe if biology or anatomy or something like that. If it was included in that, I guess it would just depend on what curriculum you were using. So I'm just gonna make that note to myself. I'm gonna say as an elective, because that's just where I would stick it in. It just made it easier for me to think of it that way. I read through what what their suggestions were for grades and stuff like that. Of course, there was like special dates when I've got to have, certain reports into them and stuff. I just will pop those on my calendar at the beginning of the year. Okay, so got a good start here. So now I know what my basic requirements are. So this is the kind of credit it is, but my state actually had some specific, some more specifications for what classes had to be. So you'll see that as I fill it in. And I wasn't really given very much. I'm not really given very many options for a lot of stuff. Okay, so for math, this is going to be completely dependent, right, on your kid and where they are. I had bought this year the Learn Math Fast, and I felt that my 8th grader is a little behind in math, and so he's currently doing like 2 lessons a day, and I think he will be. I was fairly confident. I'm fairly confident that he'll finish 2 books as of like this school year and then over the summer. And so he will at least be on basic geometry. That's the name of their book. That's their title for 9th grade. I mean, and he could go faster. But this is I just wanted to make a basic plan, right? So the next is algebra. That'd be the next year if we only covered one of those books a year. Algebra 1, we'll call this one. I call it Algebra 2, and then high school geometry. Yeah, we'll just see how math goes, but he is required to take it all 4 years. But our state didn't have a specific level that you had to be, like, have passed or anything. They just said you had to take it all 4 years. Okay, English. So all they gave me for a guideline for English is that they had to have literature and composition for all 4 years. Like, okay. So I am naming this class Literature and Composition 1. And I will be using my plan. I also took a look. I was mindful of like what I already had at home. I was kind of looking around, and I have purchased the Literature and Composition 1 and 2 from Easy Peasy Homeschool. So I will. I had that in mind, right? I already have that curriculum, so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it in Literature and Composition 2. And I mean, I bought the offline. You could take those courses on the Easy Peasy website, I believe, without buying their offline books, but I did buy them. I bought the Reader, the Language Arts Workbook, and the Vocabulary. Okay, for 11th grade, so I just, like I said, this could change in the future. Who knows what will catch my fancy, and we'll just see how this goes. But Easy Peasy also has American literature, and I'll just add on and composition because we have to do a composition, and I'll call that Composition 3, and then they have also a British literature and composition. We'll call that 4. So I'm figuring they can just take the literature class, and we can have them write papers on it and call that composition. But that's pretty far ahead, so I'm not getting too in the weeds on it, but I just wanted to have a general idea. Okay, so science with labs. I was really thinking about doing the science courses with the labs through our co-op, but we actually ended up after Christmas break not coming back to our co-op. It just wasn't really working. I just wasn't jiving with it just wasn't working out. Nothing social or anything like that, just like the classes just weren't working for him. So I just felt better about just planning all of our course, all the important things, just to have control of that at home so we can streamline his education more. Co-op, I've been talking to my co-op a lot about different types of classes, like that, so that we don't have to sign up for necessarily academic classes, but maybe more enrichment classes or things like PE or things that weren't necessarily going to add stress or extra workload. If I'm giving him a full workload at home, I don't want to have to sign him up for something that just piles on more work. So I'd rather I don't want him, for the spare time, I want him developing his passions or getting a part-time job in high school or something, I don't want to have to take more academic classes than is necessary. So I'm planning on doing these ones at home for now, unless something changes and he really wants to take them. We'll see, but I have Apology of Physical Science. And then, of course, we'll probably take, the typical biology, chemistry, and maybe physics. These are just penciled in. We'll see. I don't know that physics will be the best with it. I'm kind of mindful of where are we with math, I guess, right? But we'll see. I could pencil in something else. I'm sure we could also take anatomy and physiology or something instead, and that's a class that has labs with it. So, all right, social studies. No, we did general science last year, and I was like, I should have saved the Apology of General Science, honestly, for 9th grade. All right, social studies. All right, my state was really specific about what some of the classes he had to have. So he has to have U.S. history and Constitution. He has to have a full credit of that covered. And he also has to, I'm going to divide this up into like 2 semesters. So semester 1, semester 2, right? He has to have a half credit of economics, and he has to have a half credit of U.S. government. So I was going to put that into that year. And I'm just going to put EP here because I have there is a easy peasy course on U.S. government I saw when I was looking in there that could fit into there. And economics too, I think. And then I have to pick one other year of some social studies credit. So I have worldviews in conflict. So I thought I would stick that in that year. And that's all that is required stuff, right? I don't have to do anything that year for social studies. For PE, he has to do 1 year PE. I thought that's a good one. I would, have him do at co-op. And then that's the only one. I mean, he could do it more years than that. I mean, he could probably do it all 4 years, and he'd have all these extra PE credits. But I don't have to plan anything there. That's why I'm making myself those little notes. So computer science, I had kind of to think like, when did I want to do this? I'm actually going to put that all the way out to 12th grade. So computer science, I'm waiting to see what happens with technology. And we are required to it has to include programming in it. That was one of the requirements for the course. So computer science and programming. Again, there could be other things that he could take at co-op maybe, but I want to keep his schedule more open. Okay, we also we have to have a personal finance credit. I'm just gonna write personal finance, and I'm fine with him doing a full year of that. So like this is 1 credit, this is 1 credit, 1 credit, 1 credit, half a credit, half a credit, 1 credit, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There actually is a really good personal finance class at our co-op, so if they're still teaching it by then, I might actually use that one for then. Our state required a foreign language or career technology. Since I really don't know, it's too early to think about career technology for me. I went ahead, he's been like kind of learning German on my Duolingo for a couple of years. He's been messing around with that. But, this German one, I bought the Rosetta Stone program, and you can use that for homeschool as well. You can do is 120 hours in there. That's all that's required, but I don't know. Of course, I would love to see him, 11th and 12th grade, leaving those spots open to think about some kind of career tech. Okay, for electives, so he's got to have it's like 6.5 but I'll just call it 7 to make it easier. I thought it's really easy just to do, because we're going to be doing like Bible. Let's call it Bible 1, Bible 2, Bible 3, Bible 4. And again, if I really run out of, if I can't figure out anything I want to do, Easy Peasy is a good fallback because they had several high school level Bible courses that could easily be plugged into there. And then I also thought we could do German 2 and kind of put it into the elective category, and as well as that health that he has to take. He only has to take half a credit, but we'll do just do a full year of some kind of health. These are all 1 credits. And not do an extra elective freshman year. I want to give him a break. And I don't know. I'm leaving these ones kind of open. Like if he wants to put something in there, we can. So how many credits do I have? So that would put us at 25 credits. That's an extra credit to spare, and it could end up being like slightly more, right? Okay, so now I'm gonna take a look at just the 9th grade a little more closely with this sheet here. So grade 9. Okay, magic of television. It's all filled out. So what I did is I went through the course names that I had designated to grade 9, right? Basic geometry, literature and composition 1, physical science, US history and constitution, physical education, Bible 1, and German 1. And then I took a look at, I just wanted to think of what curriculum I already had. So I know I've got Learn Math Fast, that's volume 4. And I just did a class description. I would write this stuff down because I know I have to give it to my homeschool. I have to enter all this stuff in my application every year. But areas of study, and I just went through, the table of contents basically and wrote down what areas that book covers. Literature and composition, I just wrote down what books I've got there. The literature is going to cover autobiography, science fiction, allegorical novels, poetry, short stories, and plays. Focus on literary devices. Composition will be narratives, articles, essays, research, ads, letters, poetry, and a play. So what's helpful to me when writing class descriptions is to have the curriculum first, and then I just will pretty much copy, take my description from their website or from the table of contents of the books or something. Yeah, I don't come up with this off the top of my head. Physical science, apologia, exploring with physical science. Again, I just used the table of contents and jotted some things down. US history and constitution. I forgot, I have I bought the Humanitas American Origins curriculum. And the first half of the year is American Origins, and then the second half is the American Republic. And it does cover US history and the Constitution in it. So areas of study would be Indigenous Americans, the colonies, the Enlightenment, the American Revolution, the Founding Fathers, government formation, westward expansion, Civil War, and Reconstruction. Physical education, yeah, I haven't written one up for that yet. I'm going to wait to see if the co-op has a description. I'll just copy theirs. Bible 1, I forgot I had How Jesus Built His Church. I bought that curriculum. I think it says it's for 7th or 8th grade, but I think it's fine for 9th grade. We didn't get to it this year, and so I was thinking maybe I'll just hold on to it for next year, and he can work through that. The areas of study are the early church, the early Middle Ages, the late Middle Ages, the Reformation, the post-Reformation period, and missions and modern period. And then German 1, I got the Rosetta Stone, using it online. Areas of study, basic sentences, vocabulary, and greetings. So now I feel pretty ready for high school. And I actually, I don't have to buy anything. Everything here is either online, free from Easy Peasy, or I've already bought it. So I'm feeling pretty good. And then I just have to consider, I still have to turn on my application. It's not application time yet. So I guess there's still time to change my mind about stuff. But yeah, if you want me to show you these physical books, leave me a comment, say, yeah, we want to see flip throughs we want to see the books, the curriculum choices for 9th grade that you have, and I will make you that video. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.